My name is Daniel, and this happened 3 years ago during the week of Christmas. Even now, I still find it hard to talk about without my hand shaking. I was 27 at the time and living alone in a small rental house on the edge of a rural town in Pennsylvania. Most of my neighbors were older couples, and nearly everyone left town for the holidays. I stayed behind because I worked night shifts at a distribution warehouse and couldn't get time off. By December 23rd, the entire street felt abandoned. Snow had been falling for days, piling up along the sidewalks and muffling every sound. At night, the silence was so heavy it felt like pressure in my ears. That night, I came home around 11:30 p.m., exhausted and half frozen. I heated up leftovers, turned on some background noise from the TV, and sat on the couch scrolling through my phone. Around midnight, I heard something that made me stop breathing. A bell, not a doorbell. A small, soft, jingling sound like sleigh bells. At first, I thought it was coming from the TV, but when I muted it, the sound continued. The bells were coming from outside, and they were getting closer. I stood up slowly and walked toward the front window. The porch light was on, illuminating fresh snow that hadn't been disturbed all evening. No footprints, no movement. Then I heard it again. Jingle bells. Not the song, just the bells themselves, shaken gently, rhythmically. My heart started pounding. I told myself it was probably someone walking a dog or maybe a neighbor coming back early. Still, something felt wrong. No cars had passed in over an hour. The sound stopped suddenly. I waited, staring through the window, holding my breath. That's when someone knocked on the door. 3 slow knocks. I didn't answer. The knocking came again, louder this time. "Hello," a man's voice called out. It sounded calm, too calm. "Merry Christmas." I stayed silent. After a few seconds, I heard him laugh softly to himself. Then his voice dropped lower. "I know you're home." My stomach twisted. I backed away from the door and grabbed my phone, my hands trembling. I didn't want to overreact, so I opened the camera app instead of calling 911, thinking I'd record him. I flipped on the porch light camera feed. The man was standing inches from my door. He was tall, wearing a red Santa coat, but it was dirty, torn, and way too thin for the cold. His beard looked fake, crooked, barely hanging onto his face, and around his wrist were the bells. He wasn't smiling. He was staring directly into the camera. I dropped the phone. That's when he started singing. Not loudly, not cheerfully. It was a slow, broken version of Silent Night, dragged out, word by word. Each note felt deliberate, like he was performing, just for me. I ran upstairs and locked myself in my bedroom. From there, I could still hear him. His voice followed me through the walls, through the floor, through my skull. The singing stopped abruptly. For a moment, there was nothing. Then came the scratching. Long, slow scratches against the front door, like fingernails dragging across wood. I finally called 911, whispering as quietly as I could. While I was on the phone, the scratching moved. Toward the side of the house, then the back. I heard footsteps crunching through snow beneath my bedroom window, and then tap, tap, tap on my window. I looked despite every instinct screaming at me not to. He was standing directly below, looking up. The fake beard was gone. His mouth was stretched into a wide, unnatural grin, teeth chattering, not from the cold, but from excitement. He lifted his wrist and shook the bells once. The operator told me police were on the way. That's when he screamed. It was loud, sharp, and animalistic. He slammed into the back door repeatedly, shouting, laughing, howling. The house shook. I was sure the door would give in. Then suddenly, silence. When the police arrived, they found deep boot prints circling the house and scratch marks on every door and window. They followed the tracks into the woods behind my house, but they disappeared after a few yards. No one was ever caught. I moved out 2 weeks later. Every Christmas since, whenever I hear bells, even in a store, I feel that same cold fear crawl up my spine. Because somewhere out there, someone is still shaking them.